And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream where I answer your questions about cell phone plans, provide advice on what plans to sign up for, compare plans, and ultimately help you save money on your cell phone bill. We've got some friendly faces and some familiar faces in the chat today. Justin is here. What's up, Justin? Voodoo 1013. Thank you so much for the comment. He is psyched to talk about plans. His wife says, "You're now adding plans to your addiction. Phones, cases, more phones." I say, don't forget screen protectors. That is too funny. We have Sonic the Anonymous Hedgehog here in the chat. Skylar Green is here. Skylar, great to see you. Gregory is here. Great to see you, Gregory. Big, made it on time. Thank you so much for being here. Mia is here. Bill Castle is here. Welcome. Mike, hello, hello. V-Graphs, another familiar face in the live stream. Great to see you. John is here. Arthur, welcome, Arthur. Great to have you here. We've got Josh, Jaime, Dodora, hello, hello. Big Tank is here. We've got Stink Bomb back at it again, this time with a question on Boost. We'll get to that in a second. Guys, we have a few amazing updates that I want to cover before we dive into it and answer your questions. Oh, we got Mark here. What's going on, Mark? Great to see you in the chat. Always happy to see you. Kiss Tune. King MC, first time watching. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. If you have a question on cell phone plans, feel free to chime in the chat. But as I started off, we've got a couple of key updates that I want to mention, and I'm pretty stoked about them, as I always am. So first and foremost, I have some updates for the compare plans page on the Best Phone Plans website. So adding this to the stage right now, last week we were talking about the T-Mobile age 55 plus discount, and it was kind of awkward because you're on stream and there weren't any plans. So I've gone ahead. I have added the T-Mobile age 55 plus discount. This is what it is for the Essentials plan. We've added Go 5G Plus and Go 5G Next. Curiously, it looks like the regular Go 5G plan is missing. So mental note to myself to go ahead and add that right after I finish up this stream. But there you go. Wanted to let anyone who's 55 plus out there know they can compare prices for 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines, and 4 lines. And I believe that is as many lines as it goes up to for the age 55 plus discount. It might actually be either not available on the regular Go 5G plan or missing. I should check that right now. But that has been updated. We also have a pretty crazy, number 2, pretty crazy deal from Mint Mobile that I wanted to quickly touch on. Because this is the best deal that I've ever seen them offer on their unlimited plan. We're going to say no thanks. Unlimited from Mint Mobile. This is normally $30 a month. Mint is now offering it for just $20 a month. This is the annual plan, so $240 upfront payment required, but actually the best. I think this is the best price we've ever seen from Mint Mobile on their unlimited plan. Let me go ahead and just make sure we have links to all of these in the video description. So anyone who's watching or curious can go ahead and check these plans out. But awesome plan from Mint. And I am stoked that they have launched that discount. So let me just go ahead, make sure we have those in the video description for you guys. I usually try and put my 10 best cell phone plans always available in the video description for anyone who's watching or tuning in later. They can just instantly check, see at least what my top picks are, and hopefully they find that helpful. So boom, save, done. Those are in the chat. So that was number 2. And number 3, this is back to the compare plans page. US Mobile, they offer amazing plans, and I have found that we have the discounts on. So let's go back to the regular price. Amazing plans. However, the plans are different depending on what network you sign up for. So I wanted to touch on that I have now separated the networks, separated the plans by network. So US Mobile Unlimited Premium, there is a dedicated plan card for Lightspeed. That's going to be T-Mobile. There is a dedicated plan card for Darkstar. That's going to be AT&T. And there is now a dedicated plan card for Verizon. That is the Warp network. And this is true for unlimited premium. And going back to the top here is also true for AT&T unlimited starter. So, okay, I'm like, why are there so many plans? It's because I have a bunch of lines checked. But you can now see unlimited starter Darkstar, unlimited starter Lightspeed, and that is also Darkstar. But here's the Warp one down here. And if you're comparing these, a few of the differences are in the international features, sometimes between networks, and in the high-speed data allotments. You can see the Darkstar version of this plan now includes 70 gigs of high-speed data and 20 gigs of hotspot, whereas Lightspeed and Warp are still at 35 gigs and 10 gigs of hotspot. So just a couple of quick updates there, and want to get that out of the way so you had the latest up-to-date information on those. And with that said, I think let's dive in some questions right now. OJRC, Stetson, do you know if I can port out a paid line from T-Mobile to another prepaid carrier and port it back to a free line? OJRC, this is a great question. I think the carriers do have some clause about a line being on the network or being away from the network for a certain period of time. I want to say it's around 90 days. Don't quote me on that. I don't want to give you misinformation. The answer is yes. And it might depend on like how long it is. Maybe it's 30 days, maybe it's 90 days, maybe you want to be safe and do it for, a year or whatever. Or maybe it's more immediate. So I would check Reddit. That is my official answer. I would see what Reddit says. I know it is possible, and it's just a matter of how long do you have to keep the number off of the T-Mobile network, or T-Mobile then considers it a new number. All right, here we go. Mark Hoyle, hello all. Welcome, Mark. Loki Jinx, will you be making a dedicated video on Visible's new update? I finally updated from the basic plan to the plus for the 5G ultra wideband and higher priority data. Loki Jinx, yes, I am working on a video. Thank you for your patience. I have it scripted. I'm going to be filming it tomorrow. I would like to say it'll be out this week, and I will hopefully reach that deadline that is self-imposed. But it is scripted, so I just got to film it, take some screenshots, make a fancy presentation to compare it to all these plans. I mean, it's so, like, in one sense, so easy, right, to talk about the plan changes and updates. We kind of did that on the previous stream. But for the video, I really like to kind of compare it to the top plans. So I'm comparing the new Visible Plus and Visible Plus Pro plans to not only the top plans on the Verizon network. We're talking Verizon postpaid. We're talking Total Wireless, US Mobile. I think there might have been a couple other ones in there. And then also comparing the new Visible plans to the plans on the AT&T network and the T-Mobile network, like Mint's new unlimited plan, like US Mobile's unlimited premium Darkstar plan, AT&T unlimited prepaid, AT&T Prepaid unlimited Max Plus, all those kinds of plans. So that video, it's scripted, it's coming out hopefully this week. We'll get it out for you. We'll get it out for you. Mark, thank you so much for the super chat. Mark just says, thank you for all you do for us consumers, Stetson. Mark and everyone else watching, you are so welcome. Also, we got some resources from the crowd. Kitsune says, for T-Mobile, it is 90 days to be considered a new customer. And so this goes back to someone else's question. So Infinite Darkness is saying 60 days and dislikes Reddit. I respect it. And then Kitsune is saying it's 90 days to be considered a new customer. So something to keep in mind. I am not real says, suggestion for the site when showing the cards, somehow visually separate them based on monthly or annual. That is an interesting suggestion. I guess how do you go about that? You can see this is kind of the current setup right now. And I've just put the plan duration up top. Maybe I can add a filter up top so that's maybe more clear, like add one that says plan duration or something, or maybe put like a little badge so that's maybe perhaps more clear. But I'll think about that. I appreciate that feedback. Let's see what else we got cooking here. What Verizon MVNOs still receive service on the quote unquote extended network? Kurt, that is a great question. I'm a little bit unsure, to be honest with you. I know Verizon. Do you mean like the LTE IRA roaming networks? Latira? I forget. I don't know how you pronounce that. I think the best map we have of this is Visible, right? So if you take a look at Visible and you go to coverage, see our coverage. Visible's got this cool coverage map. I think the other sites have really cool coverage maps as well. But what's really nice about Visible is you zoom in and the map goes into these four sort of colors. What's most notable is this extended network, this sort of light purple. What would you call it? Pink? Light. I'm going to call it light purple. Violet. This color signifies the extended network. And so you can actually go to Visible's website and start to see, all right, this is where Verizon has a roaming agreement with a partner carrier. This is a roaming agreement. I think Wisconsin has a big roaming area. Yeah, there it is. Boom. Big roaming area. Max from Max Tech Studios actually knows more about this than I do. I think, what is it? Cellcom Max is where they roam. But yep, so Verizon and will roam up there. And so I think the carriers that get this, as I understand it, are likely all of the Verizon prepaid brands, right? Like it'd be weird for Visible to get this and not for Verizon prepaid or not for Total by Verizon, or excuse me, Total Wireless. They rebranded that. So I think, yeah, I think most of them get it. I think US Mobile also gets it. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I know a good handful do likely get access to these roaming agreements. We got the thumb of Wisconsin. So hopefully that's helpful, Kurt. Cassidy, we have a question about Visible's speed cap. So let's talk about this. Cassidy, thank you so much for your generosity and your super chat. Is the 450 gigabyte cap for Visible Plus or Visible Plus Pro? For those of you who may be unfamiliar, there is a fellow YouTuber, Carlos S. Tech. He has been testing the Visible plans, and he has accumulated, I think at this point, probably over a terabyte of usage. But he found out that after 450 gigabytes of usage on his line, he saw his speeds reduced to 4 megabits per second down and 4 megabits per second up. So Visible put a speed cap on his line. And I'm not 100% sure if this is applying for everyone, if it's just for extreme use cases. I mean, if you think about it from a network standpoint, right? You have someone who's a new customer, sign up for service, and then immediately used like 400 gigabytes of data. That's generally not typical usage right there. So I'm hoping to test this out myself and learn more information and see if we can get that clarified. And really, ultimate, like I think it's totally reasonable, and I also think Visible should be upfront with that, make it more clear in their terms and conditions. We kind of called out on the last stream that Verizon actually does a really good job with their terms of service. Let me see if I can actually pull that up so you can just see what I'm talking about. But it's just Verizon does a very good job making it clear what is considered appropriate use and what is not. So I certainly hope to see the same kind of transparency from Visible as well. And here it is. Yeah, we can throw this up on the stream really quickly. Oops. Stop, present, share screen. This is the window. So this is Verizon's terms and conditions. We're not going to read the whole thing, but they just have this section for heavy network management. And they say heavy data users are defined by rate plan or service type. For mobile customers, if your monthly data usage exceeds the average amount of data consumed by the top 0.5% of users on our network during the preceding 6-month period, which as of December 2024 was 1.2 terabytes, Verizon may reduce data speeds to your device to 4 megabits per second for the remainder of the billing month. So it kind of sounds like we were seeing this, or at least Carlos was seeing this on his line on Visible. And ultimately, what we would want is to just see something like this clarified in the terms of service and use case. So I will be testing this, Cassidy, and hopefully have a more clear answer for you, I would say next week. Interesting. Basile is saying that Utah has a roaming area and Total does not get that roaming area. It sounds like Visible does, though, Basile. Is that right? Also, we've got a super chat from Q. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support. Q says, looking for an MVNO that supports the Galaxy Watch Ultra fully with a companion plan like they do for Pixel watches and Apple watches, not a standalone plan. Q, this is a fantastic question. And one, I'll be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure of the answer. What comes to my mind, so first we have the postpaid carriers. That's easy. Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, they will offer that support. What I'm thinking about in terms of value for you is Google Fi, but does Google Fi support, what is it going to be, Galaxy Watch? It might be Google Fi. So check this out. I'm just going to share this. It says use your Google Pixel or Samsung Galaxy Watch with Google Fi. All right, let's make sure. Has some requirements here. Activate with Fi. I think this is providing what you're asking about. I could be mistaken, but I think this is it. So I would suggest you consider Google Fi. It looks like it works for the Samsung Galaxy Watch. I know like US Mobile supports the Pixel Watch and it supports Apple Watch, but it doesn't support Galaxy Watch just yet. Google Fi could be a good option. And then the other option that I'm wondering about is like Xfinity Mobile or something, because they got a lot of the features that the postpaid carriers offer. So we're just going to see if it supports the Galaxy Watch. All right. We're getting some helpful answers here. It looks like, yes, AI overview. Of course, you got to be a little skeptical of these. Yes, Xfinity Mobile supports Samsung Galaxy Watches, specifically models Galaxy Watch 4 and newer. And I think this is it. Like if we go to Xfinity's website, your smartwatch, our network, promising. It looks like they're showing a Samsung Watch there, Samsung Galaxy Watch. Yeah. Okay. Seems reasonable. So I would say check out Google Fi. They're offering a pretty crazy deal on service right now that we continue to talk about and continues to be ongoing, even though they say it's going to be ending. So Google Fi. It looks like they might have changed it. Plans. Yeah, they got rid of their promo. Sad day, RIP. But these plans they're a little bit more expensive, but not too bad. And if they support what you're looking for, Q, absolutely could be worth checking out. And then Xfinity Mobile, again, very reasonably affordable plans, and could be an option to consider as well. I would do Xfinity and Spectrum Mobile is the other one that could potentially work. And these use Verizon. Google Fi uses T-Mobile. So I hope that helps. And that's definitely something to try and keep track of. We got a question from Stinkbomb. Thoughts on H2O? Love the vids. Thank you so much for your support, Stinkbomb. H2O, they've got some good plans. Not the best plans. I mean, let's just quickly pull these up at a stage. So we'll reset the filter. Make sure we're doing one line. We're doing annual, new customer, and regular price. And let's just grab the H2O plans. So H2O Wireless, on the surface, not too bad. $13 for 3 gigs, very affordable. 12-month plan. $18 for the monthly option. $25 for 10 gigs, doesn't seem too bad. $36 for 20 gigs, okay, not too bad. $54 for 60 gigs, we've seen better. The problem is when we go to this is actually very surprising to me, but US Mobile is offering some of the best plans on the AT&T network right now. So if we filter by that, we'll scroll down. You can take a look. All right, US Mobile's Lite plan, same $8 as H2O Wireless. Boom, you're getting double the data, going from 1 gig to 2 gigs. Or you can grab the $10 plan, taxes included. This is monthly, 2 gigs of data. Instead of $13 for 3 gigs, which is actually still a pretty good value, you can bump it up to $15 for 5 gigs, which is going to be better than the $18 plan. You've got, I mean, then it's just outrageous. US Mobile Unlimited Starter on Dark Star, US Mobile's newest plan. Instead of you get 7 times the data. Instead of 10 gigabytes on H2O, you get 70 gigabytes on US Mobile with their unlimited starter plan. You go from no hotspot to 20 gigs of hotspot data. So really, really good plans. And then I mean, unlimited starter from US Mobile is just going to be way better. It's better than the $36 20 gig plan. It's going to be better than the $45 plan. And at that $45 price point, then you can get US Mobile Unlimited Premium on the Dark Star network. And I mean, you're just cooking here. You're getting unlimited high-speed data. It's priority data, so unlimited priority data on AT&T, 200 gigabytes of hotspot data, 4K streaming. That is significantly more than the 5 gigs of hotspot. That is 80 times more hotspot data on US Mobile's plan than on H2O's plan. Bumping up from 480p streaming to 4K streaming, and you're just getting way better international features. So I would say H2O, not bad, and US Mobile is probably way better. So I would consider looking elsewhere if you want coverage on the AT&T network at the best price available. So Stinkbomb, I hope that is helpful. And thank you very much for the question. Let's see what else we got cooking in the chat. Another super chat. Bill Castle, thank you so much for your generosity and support, Bill. What is your opinion on Mint Mobile Unnecessary plan? Is it overrated considering no data cap? So, Bill, great question. This is a little bit tricky to answer because Mint doesn't advertise their unnecessary plan on their website. They just have 3 plans. It is the 5 gig, 15 gig, 20 gig, and unlimited. But Bill, as you'll notice, if you're a Mint Mobile customer in the Mint Mobile app, they actually advertise an unnecessary plan. Let me see if I can pull this up so we can see what was included with that. And I think the short answer is it's no longer necessary. So the unnecessary plan was 60 gigabytes of data and 20 gigabytes of hotspot. All right, that's exactly what this user was reporting. And this was before Mint Mobile updated their plans. So before, this plan included 60 gigs of high-speed data with 20 gigabytes of hotspot video at 480p. That is basically the same as the previous unlimited plan, but you were getting more high-speed data, going from 40 gigabytes to 60 gigabytes, and doubling the hotspot data from 10 gigabytes to 20 gigabytes. And if you're still on this plan, if somehow you got it for $30 a month or you got it for a good rate, it seems like a pretty good value. My assumption is Mint probably upped the data from 60 gigabytes to truly unlimited, and you just get to keep that extra 10 gigabytes of hotspot data. But the truth is, I don't think you really need it. I mean, the only difference now between the unnecessary plan and Mint Mobile's current unlimited plan would just be that hotspot data. So, you're paying a little bit more for going from 10 gigs of hotspot to 20 gigs of hotspot. Is that worth it? For some people, maybe. I think for most people, just the regular unlimited plan is probably the way to go. And I actually kind of wonder, I wish I had my Mint line in front of me. I wonder if you can purchase extra hotspot data, because that would be kind of interesting. But I do think it is no longer necessary because you're getting truly unlimited data with no data cap with this $20 normal price, $30 plan. So that's my take, Bill. I think if you're on the unnecessary plan, it might be time to look at switching, just because of how Mint has updated their plans and prices and what you can get for as low. I mean, $30 a month is a regular price. So I'll just keep that in mind. And I hope that's helpful for you. Alexander Cabria, can you use an iPhone on Google Fi? Alexander, believe it or not, yes, you can Google Fi is basically just a T-Mobile MVNO, pretty much exactly like Mint, except Google Fi does include priority data. So you're getting the best network experience available on Google Fi, which is super nice. Ron B just says, hey, nice to see you doing this again. Appreciate that, Ron. The Google Fi deal did end. That is sad to say. Agent Prime, as a single user who is trying to jump ship from Google Fi, dealing with power slash service outages from hurricanes, what plans would you suggest I look into? Agent Prime, this is a fantastic question. So, at the heart of the issue is Google Fi uses the T Mobile network. So if you're looking at Google Fi and Google Fi isn't working for you, then odds are no plan from T-Mobile is going to work from you. This is going to include Mint, this will include Tello, this will include T-Mobile Prepaid, all the T-Mobile plans. So you'll probably want to consider plans that use either AT&T or Verizon for coverage. So if we click here, reset this, we'll go back to our one lines and we'll add in our discounts here, regular price. And let's say unlimited, because you can grab some really great deals on unlimited these days. A couple of options you may want to look into. I would say US Mobile Unlimited Starter, the Dark Star one. So Dark Star is AT&T. Really, really good plan for the price. This is actually $19 a month for your first year if you choose to commit for that 12-month package. 70 gigs high speed, 20 gigs hotspot, 720p video streaming, great international features, AT&T coverage. So if you want to try out AT&T in your area, definitely consider giving US Mobile a look. If you want to check out Verizon, I think we got to give a shout out to Visible. Their plans are awesome. Visible Plus, 12 months, comes out to about $31.25 per month, all taxes and fees included. Unlimited priority data on the Verizon network. So Agent Prime, you're getting the exact same speeds and performance as a regular Verizon postpaid customer. Unlimited hotspot data at 10 megabits per second. If you feel like you're dealing with power outages and you want to make sure that you have cellular data, you can hotspot that from your phone to your computer or tablet and you get unlimited hotspot at 10 megabits per second. 1080p video streaming, which is super nice, and then some really good international features as well. If you're looking at monthly options, you're looking at $35 for Visible Plus. So what is that? $4.75 more per month. Actually, $3.75 more per month. So not that much more. And if you wanted some extra perks and benefits, you could consider Visible Plus Pro. Then you're bumping up to 45. But you're getting some faster hotspot, 4K streaming, and a free Apple Watch line included. So those are some plans to consider. Another really good option in terms of price to performance, MobileX Unlimited. This is going to be $25 plus tax. So I think $27.07, something around there. 199 gigabytes of high-speed data. That is priority data. You get 10 gigs of hotspot and a little bit slower video streaming on this plan. You're getting 480p video streaming. So a couple of different options there. You're getting Verizon coverage on MobileX. You're getting Verizon coverage on Visible. And then US Mobile is what you want to check out if you're looking for AT&T coverage. Let me just see here. Yeah, I'd probably look at those just to keep it simple for you. So hopefully that helps. If you have more specifics on how much data you need per month and what your usage is like, feel free to throw a follow-up comment in there. We can kind of narrow that down for you, but I hope that is helpful. Boom. Barden says, I'm on that unlimited QCI Dark Star for $29. That is an awesome deal. Barden, hopefully you enjoy that. He's, of course, I think, talking about US Mobile there. Big Tank, thank you so much for your generosity and your super chat. Is Boost Infinite for iPhone worth it? I think yes, and I can tell you why. So when you look at getting a cell phone plan, you have two inherent costs. You have the cost of the phone, the actual device that you're paying for, and then you have the cost of the service. And what the Boost Infinite plan does, it effectively bundles those two things together and then makes it one seamless subscription and gives you the opportunity to upgrade your device every year. And when you do the math out, and you upgrade your phone every year, it's actually not that expensive. So I have a spreadsheet in Google Drive. Let me quickly pull this up. The funny thing is, like, it's faster for me to go to YouTube, find my video, and find the sheet in the video to then show on stream. So let me see here. Cheapest way to upgrade your iPhone every 1 year. Perfect. I already searched for it. So we got it. Boom. And in this video description, there is a Google sheet with all the prices. This is what I want. So this will kind of give you a quick breakdown, a quick snapshot, if you will, of the value that you get with Boost Infinite. So the sheet, it's got a lot going on, but hopefully we can break this down. Let me go here so you can see everything in full. If you've got one line big tank, you can see breaking down the pricing here. Your most affordable option. This is factoring in the net cost of the plan, the upfront credits, the new phone cost, the financing term, if there's a buyout, what the buyout cost is, annual phone cost, the cost of the plan, and then your 1 year total here. If you look at Boost Mobile, it is actually the third most affordable option. Is the Boost Mobile Infinite Access for iPhone plan. That's because you're getting $1,000 off the new iPhone every year. You just trade in to upgrade. It is a 36-month financing term, so you're basically kind of stuck with Boost. But we'll talk about that in just a second. And it nets out to about $872 per year. And this is the Pro Max model iPhone is what we're looking at. So you can actually see that. You can't see it because of your comment. We'll remove that. But down here, Pro Max model, and I also did this for the 16 Pro, 16 Plus, and regular 16. You can see sometimes things shift around a little bit, but in general, pretty good value. So bottom line here, you're only saving money over Boost Infinite if you go with a plan that's about $25 or less. Now, you could do that 100%. US Mobile's got some great $25 plans. You got Visible Base. You got Mint throwing in their plan now that's coming in at $20 a month with their limited time promo. But bottom line, Boost is a pretty good deal. So what do you get with the Infinite Access for iPhone plan? Fantastic question. I'm glad you asked. Let's pull it up right now. It's actually I feel like I have something filtered. Data unlimited. That's it. So Infinite Access for iPhone. This is becoming a little bit more nuanced, and I'll explain why. So on the surface, both Infinite Access for iPhone and Infinite Access for Galaxy, same plan, same features, as just one is for the Galaxy series where you get $800 off the newest Galaxy phone every year, and one is for the iPhone series where we're getting $1,000 off the newest iPhone every year. Both plans come with 30 gigs of high-speed data before unlimited data at 512 kilobits per second. It's deprioritized. Hotspot is a $10 add-on, 480p video streaming, and some okay international features, international texting, calling, 5 gigs in Canada and Mexico, and then international roaming starts at $20 for a gig. That's kind of expensive. I hope that is made more affordable in the future. But there is a massive asterisk around these plans. There's a huge but. If you get coverage on the native Dish network or the Boost Mobile network, which you can find if you Google Boost Mobile, actually, I think it's Dish Wireless. Yeah. Dish Wireless coverage map. There is the coverage map website, and this is a true map of the native coverage. You can also go to just the map.coveragemap.com, go up, and instead of Verizon, throw this in Boost Mobile, and you will see the same thing. This is the native Boost Mobile coverage map. And if you zoom into your area where you live or you search for it or whatever, and you see that you have coverage on the native Boost Mobile network, then the Boost Mobile plans actually change. Instead of 30 gigs of high speed, you now get truly unlimited high speed data on the native Boost Mobile network. And instead of 480p video streaming, you get full 4K video streaming if you're on the native Boost Mobile network. So these plans effectively become unlimited with 4K streaming, which are so much better and make them an even better value. So yeah, overall, at the end of the day, if you're an iPhone enthusiast, you like getting the latest device every year, the infinite access for iPhone plan is a good overall value. Now, if you have multiple lines and or you are looking at a different plan, sometimes it's not the best value. For example, if you have 4 lines, infinite access for iPhone, you don't actually get a discount per line. So you'll save money by going with a plan such as T-Mobile Go 5G Next. And let's see how much do you actually end up saving. Price difference 74 between this and that. I think this is so about $100 per line over the course of uh I guess that's just the 1 year total is what I was looking at because you're upgrading every year. So if you upgrade every year, you'll save about $100 per line by going with T-Mobile, so like $400 per year. That's not nothing. And Go 5G Next is arguably a way better plan. So that's something to consider. But if you've got 1 line, then going with that infinite access for iPhone plan is one of the more affordable options. And it kind of makes it easy, right? Where instead of having to do a trade in with or try and sell your phone online on a site like Swappa or sell it on Facebook Marketplace and kind of deal with scammers, Boost Mobile will just ship you a box. You put your phone in the box and you ship it off to them, and it's all taken care of for you. So it's really good value, I think. I've heard of a couple people doing it. Of course, whenever a phone trade-in deal happens, you have some people where the experience is flawless, and you get a small handful of people where there's some issues. But overall, I think in terms of value and what Boost is offering, I do really like it. I do think it's good value. I do think it's competitive with what AT&T and T-Mobile and Verizon are offering. And if you're an iPhone enthusiast, I would definitely recommend it. The one downside is the phone will be locked to Boost Mobile. So you're not going to be able to add a secondary line or an eSIM when you travel abroad. So something to keep in mind there as well. But Big Tank, thank you so much for your support, and I hope that is helpful. Let's see. Ian Zhao asks, is millimeter wave useful? Ian, that's a great question. I think in some scenarios it is. Primarily right now, Verizon 5G home internet, that seems to be the predominant way to access it, to use it, is to use it for home internet. Um, your phone can connect to it, and maybe it helps alleviate congestion in crowded areas, such as at stadiums or airports. I honestly think C-band is doing a lot of heavy lifting there too. C-band is that sort of Goldilocks spectrum where it has much farther reach than millimeter wave, much better reliability, and still excellent performance. I've gotten 1600 megabits per second, I think even over 2000 megabits per second down on C-band. I think it was 160 megahertz of N77. So really great stuff. Yeah, so millimeter wave, it's useful. I also think for a majority of use cases, it's not necessarily needed. So useful, but not necessarily needed. That's my take. Gary says, Stetson, thanks for the tips and advice. After over 4 years of paying $75 to Verizon, $25 with Visible is a huge difference. Gary, I'm so happy to hear that. It sounds like you're saving over $50 a month after taxes and fees. So that is just a delight. Congratulations. Yeah, Visible is so good. Man, super chat from Jordan. Thank you so much for your generosity and support. I have one phone on Total 5G Plus and another phone on MobileX 10 gig plan. I'd like to have the second on another network other than Verizon. What is my best option for low cost unlimited on T-Mobile or AT&T? Jordan, this is a fantastic question. And 2 plans immediately jump to my mind. And I think hopefully they will work for you. You didn't give a budget here, so we'll dream big a little bit. Plan number 1, we've covered it before on this stream, and I think I've got to give a shout out to Mint Mobile with this promotion. Yes, you will have to pay $240 up front, but for an extra $20 a month, you're getting unlimited high-speed data on the T-Mobile network. That is a really compelling offer. Another option to consider would be the unlimited starter Dark Star plan. So this is not going to be truly unlimited. It's going to give you really good value for the money though. So US Mobile Unlimited Premium Dark Star, you can grab it for as low as $19 a month right now if you do their limited time annual promotion. But let's say you do monthly, just in case. Monthly, 25 bucks, 70 gigs of high-speed data on AT&T. It is deprioritized, so worth keeping that in mind. But you are getting 20 gigabytes of usable hotspot here and 720p video streaming. So if you want something on AT&T, you may want to give US Mobile Unlimited Starter Dark Star a look. And if you actually go to the US Mobile website uh, and head on over to plans, you can see boom, Unlimited Starter. You can grab it for just $19 a month right now with the for your first year with this special limited time promotion. Otherwise, I mean, value for money, it is hard to beat Mint Mobile's unlimited plan. Just throw Mint Mobile up and yeah, the unlimited plan, 12 months right here. $20 a month for your first year. Regular, $30 a month plus tax. Unlimited high-speed data. It is deprioritized, 10 gigs of hotspot and 480p streaming. But I mean, for an extra 20 bucks a month, that is a really, really good value. If you did want something monthly, you can actually go with Metro by T-Mobile. They have a special offer for new customers. This used to require a port in, but I think I've seen some people reporting that they've gotten this deal with using a new number. 25 bucks flat, taxes and fees included. Unlimited high-speed data on T-Mobile. It is deprioritized and no hotspot. I think Mint Mobile's plan is a little bit better right now, especially with that promotion. But if you prefer to pay month to month as opposed to for a full year upfront, Metro by T-Mobile, definitely a plan worth looking at. I think those are probably your best options for getting the most amount of data at the best price point on either AT&T or let's actually check it out. So you want either AT&T or T-Mobile. So yeah, I'm seeing US Mobile. Cricket, this is another one. Not bad. Annual plan, 23 bucks, taxes included. Unlimited high speed is deprioritized and no hotspot. Could be worth considering. Yeah, I think that's those are really some of the best options. I will give a shout out if you wanted a little bit less data, something that comes to mind, I think around the 15 gig mark, you can grab maybe it's 10 gigs, the 10 gig mark. Yeah. For $15, you can grab 12 gigs on T-Mobile from Leica Mobile. Helium Mobile Air, 15 bucks, 10 gigs. That's going to be on T-Mobile and the Helium hotspots. And then Telo's also got some pretty good options as well. So yeah, Jordan, I hope that helps. Ultimately, I think Mint Mobile and US Mobile are probably your two best options. And then depending on how much data you need, you might be able to get away with something a little bit more affordable that we just touched on there. Barton, thank you so much for your generosity and support and the super chat. Barton wanted to let everyone know that the Dark Star promo for unlimited QCI 8 for 29 bucks ends 4:30. Yeah, this is a great call. We'll throw this up on stream right now just so people are aware of it. If you head on over to US Mobile's website, you go to their plan section, you're going to see unlimited premium uncapped for $29 a month. This is with specifically the annual version of the plan. And it's going to be 348 bucks, so $29 a month for your first 12 months of service. And then after those 12 months, the price is going to go back to your regular $32.50 per month, but outstanding value for the plan. And I think US Mobile, like they have a lot of features here. And I also think it's a little confusing where like they say free smartwatch plan. It turns out that's only on the Verizon version of the plan, which is not eligible for this pricing discount. So I tried to clarify this on my website. And if you search US Mobile Unlimited Premium, you'll be able to find that Dark Star version of the plan. Let's clear this filter. Unlimited Premium Dark Star 12 months. And you can see, I actually need to add that little badge in, but this will be $29 for your first 12 months. And this plan includes, again, that unlimited priority data, the 200 gigs of hotspot. It's 100 gigs of full speed hotspot, then 100 gigs of hotspot at 8 megabits per second and then the remainder at 600 kilobits per second. 4K video streaming, fully uncapped there, and then international calling and texting included, 20 gigs of roaming in Canada and Mexico with 200 minutes and 250 texts, and then up to 20 gigs in 49 countries, again with 200 minutes and 250 texts. So really good promotion for anyone who wants AT&T coverage. Again, Dark Star is just what US Mobile calls the AT&T network. So thank you, Varden, for bringing that to our attention. It's a great deal, great promotion, and it does end in about 16 days here. So people are interested. It could be worth jumping on that. G Torres asks, what priority data does AT&T Prepaid use? I think it's actually dependent on the plan. So if we go in here, and I think it's actually faster to search AT&T Prepaid, you can see some of the plans here. You're getting, it looks like actually priority data on most of AT&T, the AT&T Prepaid plans. So 16 gigs of priority on the 16 gig 12-month plan, 5 gigs of priority on the $30 plan. And I think, yeah, it switches over for the unlimited plans. So with the AT&T Prepaid Unlimited Basic, it's so bad, you guys. It's 30 gigs of high speed and then unlimited at 1.5 megabits per second. That's going to be deprioritized with no hotspot. At least that's my understanding of reading the terms. And then the regular unlimited, this is $5 extra, gives you unlimited high speed, which is much better than this. Deprioritized and 5 gigs of hotspot. AT&T Prepaid Unlimited Max. This is where things are actually really nice. You're getting 50 gigs of priority, 25 gigs of hotspot, really good plan, and 4K video streaming. And there's also the Max Plus unlimited, truly unlimited priority data, 35 gigs of hotspot and 4K video, but it's an expensive $65 a month. So it's a little bit of a mix. Most of the plans are priority, but you have some of those lower tier unlimited plans that are coming in at deprioritized. At least that was my understanding, and I could be mistaken on this. Maybe I need to update the site, but from reading the terms and conditions on AT&T's website and from testing the QCI values of some of these plans myself, that has been my most recent finding. So I hope that is helpful, G Torres. Thank you so much for the question. Oh, Agent Prime. In the last year, I've used between 2 and 5 gigabytes, but I've been trying to be careful about it since I am on the Google Flexible plan, meaning for a 5 gig a month, I paid $70. I cried. That is outrageous. Google Fi is so expensive. I mean, Agent Prime, realistically, it kind of sounds like you should be on MobileX, not going to lie. So if we hit up the website and just throw in a MobileX plan, so MobileX lets you customize the plan. Am I missing something? Yeah, Verizon coverage. I guess this wouldn't really answer your question because you were looking for AT&T and T-Mobile, but for your primary line, I mean, if you're using, it sounds like 2 to 5 gigs, you can grab the MobileX custom 3 gig plan, 3 gigs of paid data, plus 3 gigs of bonus data with the promo they have going on right now. That's going to be 6 gigs total. It's priority data on the Verizon network. Hotspots included. You can customize your video streaming quality. If you want to preserve that data, you can knock it down to 480p, really get good value or good mileage out of your data there. If you want to burn through it and just get the highest quality possible, you can set it to 4K. And then there's some pretty good international add-ons as well. So it sounds to me like MobileX may be a good option for you based on your current usage. I mean, $13 before tax is pretty affordable. It's substantially less than the $70 that Google Fi charged you. My goodness, outrageous. So I hope that's somewhat helpful. Skylar Green says, I've been on Infinite Access for iPhone and absolutely love it. Yeah, it's a good plan. I think it's a good value overall. Agent Prime, I've been looking back and forth between US Mobile and Visible. I just haven't made a choice on them. Yeah, they're both really good. Hard to go wrong, which is a good place to be in. Joshua asks, is it normal for carriers to take your hotspot data out of your total cell phone data like US Mobile does? Joshua, this is a great question. And what he's referring to is if if you look at US Mobile's plans, let's pull those up here. I'll just use the unlimited starter plan as an example. You can see this plan includes the warp version of the plan. I don't know. I guess we're looking at the Verizon network. If we look at the AT&T network, that's really the plan you want to be signing up for. If you're looking at the AT&T network, $25 or as low as $23 or $19 with the current promo, you're getting 70 gigs of high speed and 20 gigs of hotspot. And you might think, okay, it's 70 gigs of high speed and 20 gigs of hotspot completely separate. But it turns out the 20 gigs of hotspot actually pulls from your 70 gig allotment. So if you use all 20 gigs of high-speed hotspot data, then you'll have 50 gigs of data remaining for high-speed data on device. And it turns out that is exactly how a lot of other plans work as well. So if we just reset this, annual, new customer, regular price, and let's just go to unlimited. And we'll scroll down and see if we can get some other carriers. It used to be, I think, the same thing on Mint Mobile, but now that Mint is truly unlimited, oh, we're getting the lines in here. That's my bad. One line. Now that Mint is truly unlimited, that's no longer an issue. MobileX Unlimited, same thing. I think the 10 gigs of hotspot is going to pull from that 199 gig allotment. Pretty normal. Telo Unlimited, same thing. The 5 gigs of hotspot, that's actually going to deduct from the 35 gig allotment. Spectrum Mobile, I think the same thing here. The 5 gigs deducts from the 30 gigs. It's pretty typical, it turns out, in the telecom space. It's kind of like the carriers are giving you this set amount of data, and they're saying, hey, you have 36 gigs of data, and you can use up to 5 gigs of that as hotspot data. So that's pretty much the way it works in prepaid. It may seem different with some of the postpaid carriers, right? I mean, if you're looking at a plan, let's just pull up AT&T Unlimited Premium for an example. This plan is some of the most hotspot data from a postpaid carrier. And you might think, oh, the hotspot data is separate. And you're kind of right, because the plan itself is unlimited. So the hotspot data, it could deduct from the unlimited, but when you deduct from unlimited, like it's still unlimited. So it feels like it's separate when you go with the postpaid plan, but the reality is for most prepaid plans, it is pulling from your included high-speed allotment. So I hope that helps answer your question. It is totally normal. It's actually I think it's the way all prepaid plans work. I set up the website to try and delineate between hotspot being included or its own allotment. And every time I've added hotspot or delineated a plan had hotspot, it was always deducting from that included high-speed allotment. So a little bit of a bummer, but that's just kind of the way it works, it turns out. So, all right, we've got another question about Boost from Steven. On the topic of Boost, do they still unlock on day one per CEO on your iPhone promo video? So, Steven, the answer to the question is yes, and it depends on how you purchase the phone. So I actually got this iPhone from Boost Mobile, and I purchased it at full price. And if you purchase the phone at full price from Boost Mobile, you are required to activate it on Boost Mobile. But once it's active, it is eligible to be unlocked immediately. You can reach out to support and you can have them unlock it. I think it did take my phone a full 48 hours before it was unlocked, but I was able to get that unlocked. If you purchase the phone from Apple, it is also eligible to be unlocked. So this might be after 60 days though. And let me just pull this up so you can take a look at what I'm talking about. We'll add Apple's website to the stream right now. And you can see a bunch of carrier deals up top. Awesome. Let's say you want the Pro Max. You want it in natural titanium. Looks great. 256 gig. You're not going to trade anything in. You're going to buy it from Boost. And then will your phone be unlocked? So the answer is yes for most carriers, but the two exceptions are AT&T and then through Boost. And here it is. If you buy an iPhone through Boost Mobile financing, it will be locked for the first 60 days. So if you buy the iPhone at full price from Boost Mobile directly, you're going to be eligible to unlock that device when you receive it. It might take like 48 hours. If you buy it from Apple, it's going to be locked for your first 60 days, and then it's eligible to be unlocked. And if you do the Boost Infinite Access for iPhone deal, then the phone will be locked. Like if you're doing a promotion, such as this iPhone 13 promotion, I'm assuming that's going to be locked. If you're doing the Infinite Access for iPhone deal, that's here. This device will also be locked for the full duration. Like it's not going to unlock until after the 3-year financing agreement is fulfilled, and then it will auto unlock. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that helps answer your question. And really, it just comes down to how you choose to purchase your phone from Boost Mobile. Let's see. Oh, Sonic the Anonymous Hedgehog, trying to demystify one of the most confusing things in the world. Can you explain what a flex locked iPhone is? I will try my best, Sonic the Anonymous Hedgehog. So, you're looking to buy an iPhone. Some carriers or some retailers have what are called flex locked phones. What is a flex locked phone? Well, if you buy your iPhone from, let's say, Best Buy, this is a great example. Best Buy, it turns out, will have flex locked phones. And because Best Buy doesn't know, like they can activate on Verizon, they can activate on AT&T. They used to be able to activate on T-Mobile, but I think they may have ended that partnership. Because Best Buy can activate the iPhones on multiple networks, they need to make sure that the phone adheres to the locking policy of the different carriers. So a flex locked iPhone, put simply, is an iPhone that adheres to the locking policy of the carrier of the first SIM card it is activated on. So if you buy a flex locked iPhone, you go to Best Buy, you buy a flex locked iPhone, and you insert a no, alarm's going off. You insert a T-Mobile SIM card, then that iPhone will suddenly become locked to T-Mobile and adhere to the locking policy of T-Mobile. I think for T-Mobile, you need to have it active for like 60 days, and your account needs to be in good standing, and then you're eligible to have it unlocked. If you insert a Verizon SIM card, the iPhone will adhere to the locking policy of Verizon. And that means it's going to be locked to Verizon for the first 60 days. It might even be 30 days now, and then it will auto unlock. If you insert an AT&T SIM card, same deal. It's going to be locked to AT&T. I think it's like 60 days of service. You can request to have it unlocked. If you insert a Mint Mobile SIM card, it will be locked to Mint Mobile and adhere to Mint Mobile's unlocking policy. So that is basically what a flex locked iPhone is. It is the worst of all worlds because you're typically paying full price up front to get a phone that will work on your current carrier, but then the phone becomes locked to your current carrier despite you paying full price up front for it. Now, the good news is you're typically able to get your phone unlocked fairly quickly and fairly easily. And so after the first 30 days or 60 days or however long it is, you should be able to reach out to your current carrier and get that phone fully unlocked. But it is just, yeah, it's not fun. It's crazy. I actually did a video. This is way back for the iPhone XS when the XS launched. And I tried it out. I think I got a phone from Best Buy and I inserted a SIM card. I think it was a Mint Mobile SIM card, and the phone became locked to Mint Mobile. And I inserted another SIM card and I just couldn't use it. So yeah, they're not fun, but that hopefully helps answer your question on what a flex locked iPhone is. It's an iPhone that is unlocked out of the box and then becomes locked to the first network it is activated on. And it just follows whatever that carrier's unlocking policy is. So thank you for the question, and I hope that's helpful. Let's see. Renee is talking about that Boost Infinite plan. Yeah, it is kind of lame. Uh, $1,000 off for the iPhone models, but only $800 off the Samsung models. That's a great question. I think this was $1,000 when the Galaxy S25 series first launched, but now for whatever reason, maybe Samsung's incentives are lower. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but unfortunately it is lower. So it's really great for iPhones, and it's good, but not as good for Galaxy phones. Joshua, thank you so much for the super chat. Um, let me see. Oh yeah, and Joshua was saying it is normal for carriers to take your hotspot data out of your total cell phone data, like US Mobile does. It says in their app only. Yeah, so it is normal, and that's just how the prepaid carriers do it. And then, yeah, it's. I wish it was different, but there you go. Amore 12321 underscore asks, any visible like plans with T-Mobile coverage? Whew, I wish. That would be the dream come true. The closest plans we have right now, there's only like two. Really one that comes to mind. And it is Mint Mobile. So, and more, it is Mint Mobile's unlimited plan. You do have to commit to that 12-month option, but it's going to be $30 a month or come out to $30 a month. So they're offering this on promo right now, $20 a month for your first year, $240 up front. And this is the closest you can get. It's unlimited high speed. It is truly unlimited high speed. You're not getting slowed down based on how much data you use, but the data is deprioritized, and you get 10 gigs of hotspot here and 480p video streaming. It's not quite in line with Visible, where you can get priority data, unlimited hotspot data at 10 megabits per second, and between 1080p and 4K video streaming. Now, that said, you can enable 4K video streaming on Mint Mobile's plan simply by using a VPN. So that could be something worth considering there. But otherwise, this is pretty much as close as you can get. Mint Mobile, the other option would be Metro's plan for new customers. This is worse because there's no hotspot. And at the moment, without the promo, it's a little bit more expensive, but it still gives you that unlimited high-speed data. It is deprioritized. The only other plan that like maybe I'm a little hesitant to recommend, we could do T-Mobile Prepaid. Again, it's just not quite. It's more expensive. A $50 plan, unlimited. You do get 50 gigs of priority here, which is why I bring it up, and you get 720p video streaming. But hotspot 600 kilobits per second, basically unusable. You could do T-Mobile Prepaid Unlimited Plus. The price, I mean, it's just like really expensive, almost double Visible Plus, and $15 more expensive than Visible Plus Pro. You still get 50 gigs of priority and 10 gigs of hotspot and 720p video streaming, but just not quite as good. And then maybe Google Fi, but the price is just so high, so I'm kind of hesitant to recommend this. But again, it's kind of similar, 50 gigs of priority, hotspots included. What is nice about Google Fi is you can use all 50 gigs of that hotspot. And as Joshua was talking about, yeah, the 50 gigs, the included hotspot here, that's just pulling from the 50 gigs of high speed allotment. So Google Fi is another carrier that does that, even on their Simply Unlimited plan, 35 gigs of data, and you can use 5 gigs of the 35 gigs as hotspot. But yeah, I think Mint is probably my answer. I mean, this is the plan that gives you unlimited high speed, a decent amount of hotspot at a crazy good price with the current promotion going on right now. So, Amor, I hope that's helpful, and I hope we see some prepaid carriers launch more competitive plans to fight back against Visible, I guess. But it's a healthy landscape right now, is how I feel. We have the speed test channel giving us a little wave. What's up, the speed test channel? It'd be awesome if the icon for your speed test was the coverage map app. Shout out to the free coverage map app if you haven't tried it out. But there you go. Oof. A period H period. Hi Stetson. No, thank you. Is that right? Thanks to you? I don't know. Hi Stetson. No, thank you. I have a 5-line cricket plan for 125. I would like to get a 4-line plan. What is the best deal? I live in the Northeast. Thank you. If you're happy with cricket, honestly, cricket is probably going to be what you want to look at for your plan. So let's say you want to get 4 lines. Boom. Yeah, we'll throw up some options right now on stream for you. So Cricket, you can grab Cricket unlimited high-speed data on the AT&T network. This is going to be $100 flat. So pretty much the same rate as you're paying now, but you're down a line, so you save 25 bucks a month. It is deprioritized, and you have to pay extra if you want hotspot, which is a little bit of a bummer. If you wanted to grab the hotspot data, you'd be paying a little bit extra, and that would be $130 a month with Cricket Unlimited. But the other option would be US Mobile's unlimited starter plan. Yes, with the Dark Star. So this probably will actually meet your needs and be a really good price. So $100, same as Cricket. This time you're getting 70 gigs of high-speed data before unlimited data at 1 megabits per second. 70 gigs is typically enough for most people these days, so you'll probably never notice that 1 megabit per second speed cap. And you're getting 20 gigs of hotspot data here. So if any of your lines need hotspot data, I think US Mobile is going to be a better pick. Also 720p video streaming, a little bit better than Cricket. You're getting a 4 megabit per second speed cap here on the video content versus a 1.5 megabit per second speed cap on Cricket. So I think US Mobile, same price and a little bit better features overall, and also some good options for international. If you opt for the annual version, $19 a month per line for your first year. So, drops it down for a little bit of savings for that first year, but not by much. And you do have to pay up front. So going monthly is another really good option as well. I'm trying to think if I'm missing out on anything. Those are probably your best options, US Mobile and Cricket, if you're happy with the service. Let's just check Total Wireless. Total's on Verizon. And yeah, pretty much the same deal, $100. It does. I think you can get 50% off if you bring your own device. And I also think that only applies to one line. So I would suggest ignoring that for this. It'll be $100 for 4 lines, unlimited high speed. It is deprioritized and you get 5 gigs of hotspot, but it is Verizon coverage. And if you wanted priority data, I actually do think this upgrade was worth it. Extra $10 a month, you're getting unlimited priority now and tripling your hotspot data from 5 gigs to 15 gigs, 720p video streaming, which is always great. And then some honestly really good international features depending on what your international needs are. So yeah, I would look at Cricket. I would look at US Mobile. I would look at Total 5G Unlimited. I think those are your best picks. One more that's coming to mind right now is Metro. And yeah, that's just as I thought. Very expensive. Very expensive. So I would not go with Metro. So yeah, I think that's it. That's what I would look at, Probably those are your best deals. US Mobile, Cricket, or Total Wireless, depending on if you want AT&T or Verizon coverage. So I hope that is helpful. Asmol, can you get unlocked from Apple/T-Mobile carrier deals? Yes, but there's a pretty heavy asterisk around that. So if we're back on the Apple website, if you buy an iPhone from Apple, if you buy the Verizon version or the T-Mobile version, those phones will ship unlocked. So the only locked phones from Apple are on an AT&T installment plan and Boost Mobile. But I guess that probably just answers your question right there. And that's if you're paying full price. If you want to finance the phone, then the only option for an unlocked financed phone is actually the T-Mobile one. And I think that is the correct option. Let's see. Yeah. And for some reason, just the T-Mobile one, it comes unlocked and you don't have to, you can bypass the screen or whatever. The AT&T one locked, the Boost Mobile one locked for 60 days. The Verizon one will also be locked for 60 days. So if you want to finance it, T-Mobile is the only option. But if you're paying in full, I mean, you could just buy it from Apple, connect any carrier later. Boom, that's what you want. And you're good to go. No Apple Plus coverage. Boom. This is what I do every time I buy my phone, except I guess last year where I bought this from Boost Mobile directly because they were doing that promo. But yeah, I hope that is helpful. Jordan, you missed my super chat. Let me check, Jordan. Hopefully I got it. That was the 5G plus and the 10 gig. I think we covered that now. So hopefully that has been covered fully. If you have another question, let me know. let's see. We have some more. Gosh, I scroll so slowly through the chat. I apologize, you guys. Thank you for your patience. It looks like we have another super chat. Mangoes and apples. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support. Is it worth it to keep using a US Mobile Lite plan for a usage of less than 1 GB on a Warp network on an LTE only device, despite deprioritization? Is it a deal breaker on US Mobile to be deprioritized? Mangoes and apples. This is a fantastic question. And candidly, one I don't feel we have an absolute answer for. I've been in scenarios where I've been in a Costco parking lot at 2:30 p.m. on a Saturday. It's rush hour. The parking lot is slammed. The Costco is part of this larger shopping plaza. And on the phone with priority data, I'm getting like 4 to 8 megabits per second down. And on the phone that's deprioritized, I'm getting zero point 0.3 megabits per second down. So in that specific scenario, there was a pretty big difference between priority data and having deprioritized data. But most of the time, I don't think there really is that much of a difference. Like if I'm out and around Longmont, I mean, I can check the coverage map and show you that the speeds are just really good on Verizon. So let's go ahead and pull this up. This is pretty cool, I think. I'm pretty biased because I helped make this, but I think it's pretty cool. So we'll pull it up on stream. This is Longmont, Colorado. And you can see we're looking at Boost. But if we throw it in Verizon, there's Verizon. It's mostly mapped out. And let's go ahead and toggle on. Oh, map values are on. Perfect. That means we just need to zoom in a little bit. And you can see best download, like in the center, Main Street, over 1,000 megabits per second, 135, 76. All right, a little bit slower, 49, 52, 100. This area is pretty fast, 300. This area is crazy fast, 600 to 800 megabits per second, 300 megabits per second. The bottom line is performance is just really good. Like this area is also really good, 600, 455. This area is really bad. So if you live in like this area, maybe having a plan with priority data would make a difference. But for me in my town of Longmont, I just don't think it really matters as much. I think you're going to get great performance on Verizon no matter pretty much where you are. Like, sure, there are a couple spots where maybe it would make more of a difference, but the performance is just so good. I don't think you're likely to notice. So the answer to your question that I would give today is no, I don't think it matters. I don't think it's a deal breaker. Yes, I do think you should stick with the US Mobile Lite plan. I don't think you're going to get anything better for $10 a month. And for those curious, the US Mobile Lite plan, actually, you might consider switching to the US Mobile 2 gig shared data plan because I think that would actually be a little bit better of a value. But let me just pull that up here on the Best Phone Plans website. So US Mobile Lite, we just got to make sure the unlimited is filtered off. Am I spelling it wrong or did I just like not add it? Anyway, US Mobile 2 gig, this is a plan that you might consider. And the only real difference is that it includes international texting and international calling, and it includes mobile hotspot support. But that's it. And otherwise, yeah, I think you're getting a great plan. And I don't really think the priority data is a deal breaker. So I hope that is helpful. All right, let's see what else we got cooking in the chat right now. Jesus Ernesto 24, thank you so much for the comment. How fast does your app update after a speed test? Like if I get a higher speed than the top speed shown on the map. Jesus, I have great news. The map updates instantaneously in real time. You do have to refresh it. And so what I mean by that is if you're looking at the map and let's say you're in Boulder and you run a test and you're like, why is it not showing up? Why is the map not showing up? Oh, I haven't shared it. If you run a test and you're like, why is this square not showing up? Well, you have to go ahead and refresh the map. And so to do that, you can just toggle between 5G and then go back to all, and that'll refresh the squares on the map. Or if you switch carriers, so you can switch between all, and then if you go back to the carrier you've been testing, you'll see that be updated in real time once that test is finished. But yeah, it's pretty much in real time, and it's pretty awesome in that regard. So definitely consider checking it out if you haven't already. And we made the app completely free, both for iPhone users and for Android users. We are working on a really big update for Android to improve the performance, the fluidity, and the speed of the app. So I hope that helps answer your question. Green, missed my super chat. I bet I did. Here we go. Does Visible have access to Verizon's standalone 5G network? Green, this is a fantastic question. For those curious, for Verizon's standalone 5G network is it's basically their 5G network, but standalone. And all that means is currently with most 5G networks, the network is actually relying on the 4G LTE network core, typically for the upload portion of the connection. And I think also for voice calls. If you're connected to a standalone 5G network, then it's using the 5G network core for download speed, upload speed, and I think also for voice calls. Could be mistaken on that, but I think it's also using it for voice calls. Does Visible have access to it? Unfortunately, at this moment, I don't think it does. I think it's possible. Like you'll definitely get 5G in those areas where there's 5G standalone, but not in the same capacity as a Verizon postpaid customer. And on Verizon postpaid, for example, if you're on the unlimited ultimate plan, Verizon has rolled out a feature where if you're on 5G standalone, you'll actually get a dedicated network slice for improved performance when making video calls. So if you're doing a FaceTime call, for example, your call quality will look much better in theory on unlimited ultimate on 5G standalone because you have that dedicated slice of the network just for FaceTiming your friends and family. So unfortunately, I have not seen Visible get access to Verizon's 5G standalone network just yet. Hopefully it comes soon, but I kind of doubt it'll get those kinds of features just based on how Verizon wants to separate its prepaid brand from its postpaid brand. I mean, Visible is already exceptionally good as it is. So if they add too many features to it, it'll become postpaid. So thank you so much, Green. Sorry I missed your chat, and I hope that helps answer that question. All right, Tyler's saying I missed his, but I think it was a normal question. Is that right, Tyler? Humu, do you have any general knowledge advice? Said that wrong. Do you have any general advice slash knowledge for Canadian phone plans? Humu, I wish I did. I currently do not. That is the truth at the moment. Snarkmark disagrees. I respect it. Gotta disagree, Stetson. If you're a low data user on Verizon, then MobileX trounces US Mobile. I'm not sure if I would say trounces. I think both offer a really good value. In this case, the 2 gig for $10 plan. Yes, it's fixed at a $10 a month cost, but taxes and fees are included. If we throw up MobileX, their custom 2 gig plan, technically $9, which is technically cheaper, but we throw in taxes and fees, $10.19. So this will be more expensive. But if you use less than the included allotment, then you get credit back to your account. So I could go either way here. I thought I really liked US Mobile in terms of just it's $10 flat. It's easy. You don't necessarily need to switch, but this is definitely good. I'd say if your usage is more variable month to month, like you're using 1 gig 1 month, 3 gigs the next month, 4 gigs the following month, and that might have been what the user was doing, to be honest, excuse me. They might have variable usage. So in that case, MobileX may actually be better. And so Snarkmark, yeah, you're absolutely right. It might be better to grab one of these plans. And even though it's a little bit more expensive, perhaps up front, if you have some lighter use months, you'll get credit back to your account, and that might make it a better overall value. So great point there. Carlos asks, if the map shows no colors at my home, is there another way for me to get an idea of my best carrier? Yeah, Carlos, I mean, if you wanted to help contribute to the map, if you go ahead and run a test in the coverage map app, then it'll contribute in real time. So if you just download it and run a test here, I can kind of show you that. Make sure you're on cellular, and hopefully it'll pull up. Yeah. If you just download the free app and you make sure you have cellular and you're on 5G or LTE and you hit start test, it'll go ahead and let's say I'm indoors and measure your cellular connection. So this is my US Mobile line, the personal one. Looks like I'm getting 5G ultra wideband. Really good performance. Honestly, shockingly good performance right now. 319 megabits per second down. It's like very poor upload performance. What is that? 2.7? Oh, not good. But if you go ahead and run a test, that'll contribute your network to the map and start to help build out a cellular coverage map in your specific area. If you wanted to kind of aggregate things and see things on a bigger picture, if you actually go to just the coverage map website, or you can still use the app, but we have this really cool feature. This is easier for me to show on screen, so I'll just do this. You can go to the check coverage tab up top and just enter any state, city, county, or zip code. So I'm actually in Boulder County. So let's see, Boulder County, Colorado, boom. And you get a report and you can compare coverage percentages. Looks like Verizon covers 67.6%, T-Mobile's at 50.6%, AT&T 77.8. You can compare the median download speeds, 62.9, 90 megabits per second on T-Mobile, and 34.2 on AT&T. And the reliability scores, 5.6 on Verizon, 6.1 on T-Mobile, and 1.3 on AT&T. And these are calculated. We have a little button, what do these numbers mean? And we kind of explain how they're calculated if you want to learn more about that. But this is a way where you can kind of take the aggregated data that we have for your county, for your zip code, or for your state, and just see how the different networks stack up. So hopefully that is helpful. And this is also available for free in the Coverage Map app as well. So if you're in the app, you can just go to the search tab at the bottom here, and same deal. You'll just enter your state, city, county, or zip code and get the exact same results. See knowledge, $45, Dark Star or Visible 45. See knowledge, this is a great question. These are two legendary plans. You honestly can't go wrong. So I'll pull these up. We'll do a quick comparison here. It is going to be US Mobile, Unlimited Premium, Dark Star. Boom. I had to compare. Or the Visible Plus Pro plan. And here it is. Let's compare these plans now. See what the differences are. Carlos, you're most welcome. Hopefully that helps. Boom. Website is slow. Thank you for your patience. Jesus Ernesto, do you sell that data to the carriers? Not yet. If one of the carriers wants to reach out and to buy some of the data or license it, please reach out and do so. We would love to start earning money. All right. To answer the question, $45 a month. Do you go with US Mobile Unlimited Premium Dark Star, or do you go with Visible Plus Pro? Both exceptional plans. Let's get me a little bit out of the way here. 1 second. Boom. On US Mobile side, $44 a month, taxes and fees included, versus $45 a month for Visible Plus Pro. Both include unlimited high-speed data. Both give you unlimited priority data. So US Mobile is giving you unlimited priority data on the AT&T network. Visible Plus Pro is giving you unlimited priority data on the Verizon network. Hotspot usage. I think Visible actually has better hotspot usage here. So US Mobile, 200 gigs of hotspot and then 600 kilobits per second hotspot, but it is tiered. You get 100 gigs, your first 100 gigs at full speeds. Then you get your next 100 gigs at 8 megabits per second. And then after that, it's capped at 600 kilobits per second. And this means the moment you hit 100 gigs of hotspot usage on US Mobile, you would have actually been getting faster speeds on Visible Plus Pro. Because after 100 gigs of hotspot on US Mobile, your hotspot speeds will be 8 megabits per second. And on Visible, it's truly unlimited hotspot data, but at 15 megabits per second. So heavier hotspot users may like the unlimited hotspot at 15 megabits per second versus the tiered system that US Mobile has. Both have 4K video streaming, which is excellent to see. International texting, 200 countries on US Mobile, 200 countries on Visible. Calling to 200 countries, this is variable minutes, whereas Visible, it's 500 minutes to 85 countries. So a little bit more consistent on Visible, but US Mobile definitely supports more countries in their international calling add-on. Canada and Mexico, different approaches here. US Mobile is giving you 20 gigabytes of high-speed data, and you get 200 minutes and 250 texts. Visible, you get 2 gigs per day in Canada and Mexico, which is technically 60 gigs per month. So, in some sense, 3 times the data as US Mobile, but it's on a per day allotment. So, if there are days where you use more data, then having the 20 gigs up front may actually be a better move. Now, what's nice about Visible is I believe you do get unlimited minutes and unlimited texts while roaming in Canada and Mexico, as opposed to the 200 minutes and 250 texts that you get on US Mobile. And somewhat of a similar story for the international roaming. US Mobile up to 20 gigs in 49 countries. There are some countries that I think get 10 gigs and some get 20 gigs. And you're also getting limited to 200 minutes and 250 texts. Visible, different approach. You get 2 free international days per month. Additional days can be purchased for $10 per day. And during an international day, I think you get 2 gigs of high-speed data, and then you get unlimited slow data. We can actually check that if we scroll down. Yeah, one international day includes unlimited talk, text, and 2 gigs of data for a 24-hour period. And additional days are available for purchase at $10 per day. And again, with US Mobile, you're getting up to 20 gigabytes, 200 minutes, 250 texts in 49 countries. So, it's kind of up to you and what your needs are. One other thing worth noting here, Visible Plus Pro does include a free Apple Watch line as well. So I think Apple Watch users and heavy hotspot users may prefer the features and benefits that Visible Plus Pro offers over US Mobile. Now, if you get excellent AT&T coverage, or you want a slightly more affordable price, or maybe you're a more frequent international traveler and you like this international setup a bit more, then you might prefer what US Mobile offers with their unlimited premium Dark Star plan. I will say, I do think US Mobile has a much better application for managing your account and tracking your usage. And if you're a massive nerd like myself, you will find that absolutely awesome. I really do enjoy this. Here, I'll show my current, I've been signed out. Let me quickly sign in for you guys. Actually, let me cancel this. Got to remember how I signed in. But I'm just trying to show you the usage graph because I think it's really good. I think it's really cool. Wow, this is really not working. All right. I might not be able to show that because it's just taking too long. Anthony says 90 likes and counting. Thank you so much for hitting that thumbs up button, you guys. Andy B. So the difference is noticeable. QCI 8 versus QCI 9 on AT&T. It sounds like there's just a great discussion going on in the chat right now. I would say it really depends on network congestion at the time the tests are being run. This is my hot take. I think most of the time it's not really going to matter. You're going to get usable speeds on both, but I could be mistaken. It sounds like Tootsie Roll is saying, for me at least, yeah, there is a noticeable difference. And it sounds like it is worth being on QCI 8 versus QCI 9. So, yeah, I'm hopeful to test that out more. Oh, Bill Castle is bringing up another point that I forgot to touch on and is worth mentioning. Customer service on US Mobile is definitely better than on Visible Plus. So if you value good customer service, I think US Mobile would be the way to go. If you're asking me personally, I think the overall experience on US Mobile is a bit better than Visible. But as an Apple Watch user, and most importantly, like it comes down to coverage for me. AT&T coverage is simply not good where I live. Verizon coverage is awesome. And so I would go with Visible Plus Pro um, in this scenario because I get better coverage on Verizon. But if you ask, like, what is my personal line on? My personal line is on US Mobile. It's just on their Warp network, which is Verizon. So I'm saving money and I'm getting a good plan. So there you go. And the gaming audiophile is mentioning if you're willing to pay for a full year upfront, you can grab the unlimited premium plan for $29 a month right now. And that is unbeatable. So, price performance, US Mobile cannot be beaten in this scenario. Both are great plans, though. And it is worth noting Visible Plus can drop down to $38 a month, but that's still more expensive than US Mobile's deal. So, I hope that is helpful and kind of helps compare these two plans. Both are phenomenal, and I think it's just great to see healthy competition for consumers where you have two really great options to choose from where you can't really go wrong. And I think I covered pretty much everything. Oh, I've got to fix some of these in the website development. Work in progress. There you go. Boom. Curtis B saying, I just signed up for Visible Plus for my wife and I, used some referral codes and a Chase credit card cash back to save a lot of money. I'm happy about it. Thanks for your advice. Curtis, I am so delighted to hear that. Sounds like you're saving money and getting exceptional service. So that is excellent to hear. Always makes me smile hearing stories like that. Ooh, what are examples of limited data plans that cap data compared to plans that charge you for going over? T-Mobile Connect versus Tello versus Mint. If you're looking at T-Mobile Connect versus Tello versus Mint, they kind of have just different approaches. So T-Mobile Connect will just shut off your data once you reach your limit. And this has some negative consequences. So features such as visual voicemail, picture messaging, maybe group messaging, those actually rely on a little bit of data. And if cellular data is turned off on your line, then it turns out those features don't work. So you might stop getting visual voicemails, pictures might stop sending, and group chats might not work as well. Um, Tello, I think they still give you, I think they slow your speeds down. Nope, they actually stop your data. They used to slow your speeds down, but now they stop your data. And similar story. If you're on Tello, you use your data and the data stops, those features are going to stop working. Visual voicemail, picture messaging, group messaging, you might start to have issues with those. Whereas if you have Mint, because Mint includes unlimited slow data, oops, I put Mint. After your high speed allotment, it's 5 gigs, then 128 kilobits per second. 128 kilobits per second is very slow. It's borderline unusable, but it is usable enough for iMessage. It's usable enough for visual voicemail. It's usable enough for group and picture messaging. So all of those features will continue working. And I think overall, you'll get a better experience on a plan that does give you at least some sort of slow data after your high speed allotment. So I hope that kind of helps Hudson in terms of what the differences are. And I think it's worth mentioning, like with Tello, I don't think there are any auto charges if you go over. I think the data just stops. And the same thing for what was it? T-Mobile Connect. If you go over, the data just stops. You're not getting charged overages or anything like that. The plan simply just stops working. Now, that said, if you have a plan such as MobileX, I think they actually give you the option to configure it where if you go over your included data allotment, then you're actually able to pay and sort of auto top up and pay as you go. And that's nice because then your phone continues working and you're just paying for the data you use. So, kind of some different approaches there um, in how those plans compare. So, I hope that is helpful for you, Hudson. Green, thank you for your super chat and your generosity, my friend. Benefits of VoNR over LTE. So VoNR, very funny word, is a voice over NR or voice over 5G. That is where your phone basically uses the 5G network to make a voice call. Green, my understanding of the benefits is if you make a call using VoNR, then you're getting a higher bit rate. So the call will sound much more clear, more true to life. The person's voice and your voice will likely sound richer with more depth to them. But it is pretty hard to make a VoNR call right now because it simply isn't everywhere. It's not available. It's not rolled out. I think, I mean, like you could make the call and like your end would be on VoNR, but if you're making a call to someone who's on LTE or it's not connected to a voice over NR area, then are they really getting the same benefits? I don't know. That's the truth. I don't know. I wish I had the answers, but I haven't really tested it out myself. So I'd be curious to see if someone else tests it out, what it would look like, or maybe I should go and test it out myself. All right, Voodoo 1013. Thank you so much for this, the chat. Stetson, sorry to go OT, but if I teleport from Warp, then back to Warp, will I be able to use my old Warp PSIM? Yes, that is the good news. So for those of you who are curious, Voodoo 1013 is talking about US Mobile. They have a feature where you can actually transfer networks on your plan. So if you activate on the Verizon network, you can switch to the AT&T network on your plan. And that's a really cool feature of US Mobile because they have agreements with AT&T, with T-Mobile, and with Verizon. So you can actually kind of switch between the networks based on what network is best in your area. I don't recommend doing it too frequently because there is downtime, maybe 10 to 15 minutes or so of downtime as your phone plan switches over from one network to another. But it's still a really cool feature to have where if you sign up, you realize coverage is not good on a particular network, you have options. You can switch, you can keep your plan, and you're just switching on US Mobile directly. And when it comes to SIM card use, so for AT&T and T-Mobile, you actually need new SIM cards, new physical SIM cards every time you activate service on them, which is very wasteful and ridiculous. And it turns out on Verizon, US Mobile's Warp network, you're able to reuse SIM cards. So the answer is yes, you can reactivate the same Warp SIM card, physical SIM card that you have now. You can reuse that as many times as you'd like, which is very convenient. So there you go. Boy next door. Catch me live. Great to see you in the chat. Welcome to be here. Alex, we'll do a couple more questions and then I'll sign off here. Alex says, pay my share of about 45 to 50 bucks on a Verizon Unlimited family plan. Have cracked back glass iPhone 13 Pro. I'm looking to upgrade. Looking to move from Verizon. Some hotspot data comes in handy, and if international benefits are a plus. Oof. All right, so Alex, couple of thoughts here. Thought number one, you could stick with Verizon and trade in that phone, right? And Verizon accepts cracked devices, I believe, for trading credit. Unsure what value they would give. I would say it'd be worth for you to run the numbers on this. But what's coming to my mind is, of course, people who have watched me live before know exactly where I'm going with this. It's my favorite site. It's just too good. Swappa.com. So, Alex, Swappa is a website where you can buy and sell gently used tech. I've used it to both buy and sell my gently used tech. In fact, I'm going to list an iPhone 15 Pro on here pretty soon here so I can get rid of it because I no longer need it and I want to get a good price for it. But the benefit for you and people who use this is you can find great deals on gently used phones. So you're on a 13 Pro. Sounds like maybe you want a 15 Pro. Let's just throw that in because why not? And it sounds like you're on a regular. So let's do iPhone 15 Pro. This retailed for $1,000 just last year. Oh gosh, this is what I'm going to be selling it for. I'm going to be losing so much money. You're probably going to want one that's in at least good condition. So let's make sure you get good condition there. And if we zoom in, oops, sorry about that. Zoom in, here's one. This is actually a little bit more expensive, but you're getting that 100% battery health. So that could be good as well. Otherwise, you're kind of sacrificing a little bit cheaper, but 85% battery health. But let's check this out. 715 bucks. iPhone 15 Pro. This is getting the latest Apple Intelligence features, all of the latest and greatest from Apple, even though Apple Intelligence is actually comically bad at this point. Looks like it's in great condition. You're getting the action button. and it's only 715 bucks. So overall, pretty good value there. If we go back, if you wanted to save money, you could consider, here's one, 618 bucks. So a little bit cheaper. If you did an Apple battery replacement, I think that's an extra 80 bucks, $79. This looks pretty good, except something's going on with the camera here. It looks like they put either some kind of protective lenses on that or something such as that, which I personally would want to rip off immediately, but that's just me. Let's see if there's anything else. Sometimes the sponsored listings are a little bit more. Yeah, here's one, 670 bucks, good condition. What was the battery at? 94% battery health. Wow. Really, really good. Well, hopefully I can list mine and get a good price for it. But anyway, I suggest you consider Swappa. You can get a new-ish phone for a really, really good price. You could even grab, if you wanted to get a iPhone 16 Pro, right? Like this is going to be even less than buying it new from Apple. Already almost, what is that, 20% off? Unlocked, geez, fair. Here's one good, 826. So yeah, maybe like 15% off. This happens to be the new like sort of sandstone gold color. I'm just going to call it gold. But yeah, anyway, a site for you to look out, check out, Alex. And then if you pair this with an affordable cell phone plan, I mean, you're just cooking, right? So top picks right now, I'm just going to go to my homepage because that pretty much has my top picks immediately. If you're looking for Verizon coverage, MobileX Unlimited, 25 bucks a month, probably going to be closer to 27 after taxes and fees, 199 gigs of high-speed priority data, 10 gigs of hotspot, 480p streaming. If you wanted AT&T coverage, I mean, US Mobile is crushing it with their unlimited starter plan on Darkstar, 25 bucks a month, 70 gigs of high-speed data before unlimited at 1 megabit per second, 20 gigs of hotspot, 720p video streaming. International features are not really included in this plan, but there is a $15 add-on that's, reasonably affordable and will get by if you need it. Visible Plus, also awesome value, 35 bucks, 1080p streaming, unlimited priority, 10 megabit per second hotspot data that's truly unlimited. And this actually does have some nice international features if you needed it. Kind of a nice bonus for you. If you needed like truly premium plans, swapping out from your Verizon plan for the same 45, 50 bucks, I mean, you're looking at US Mobile Unlimited Premium Darkstar and Visible Plus Pro. We covered these plans a little bit before already, but unlimited priority, 200 gigs hotspot, unlimited hotspot, 15 megabits per second, 4K streaming. I mean, these plans are cooking. These plans are cooking. Low cost plans. Let's see if there's anything that's worth mentioning here. If you really wanted to save like 30 bucks a month, US Mobile 5 gigs of shared data, priority on Verizon, hotspot included. Not bad. Or you could do annual. And with annual, this is where, all right, Mint is definitely worth considering, especially with their current promo. That's 20 bucks for your first year. Like that's just so good. It is deprioritized. I don't think that matters on the T-Mobile network. Definitely not as much as it does on Verizon or AT&T at least. 10 gigs of hotspot is still plenty. And then some pretty decent international features as well, and a pretty affordable add-on. So, Alex, I hope that's helpful. Bottom line, I would combine buying a gently used affordable phone off of Swappa with an affordable phone plan, and I think you'd save some good money there. And in terms of your current phone, it's probably worth it for you to run the numbers, like what is this going to cost to get fixed, and then what can you sell it for, or something such as that. So that's what I would say. Or if you love iPhone, I mean, it's a little more expensive, so I almost don't want to recommend it. But if you like iPhone and you like upgrading every year, you could consider doing the Infinite Access for Galaxy plan. And the only reason that I'm bringing this up, excuse me, I want to do Infinite Access for iPhone. What am I saying? Infinite Access for iPhone plan. The only reason I bring it up is you get $1,000 off today with no trade-in. So you could grab a free iPhone 16 Pro and then like sell your old phone or get your old phone fixed and then sell it. And that would just be extra money for you. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. Those are some plans to look out for and to consider as you figure out your upgrade journey. So there you go. Sonic says my chatbot doesn't work. Sonic, I will look into that and get back to you. um, awesome. Whew. Stark Mark. Let's say I trade in my Samsung Galaxy for a new Galaxy on AT&T. Can I give my mom that new Galaxy and put her on Darkstar while I keep using my Pixel on AT&T postpaid? I don't think so. I think the devices you get from AT&T are locked to AT&T, and I think they're able to tell prepaid from postpaid. So I don't think it would actually work on US Mobile, even though Darkstar is the same network. So my answer is I don't think so. Snark Mark, I'm sorry to say. There you go. Yeah, Mark, so much useful information during this live stream. I appreciate it. I always plan to do this for an hour, and then I look up and it's been an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes. I think I'm gonna have to call this one uh, because I gotta going. I gotta read and go to bed. Um, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the live stream and for asking such good questions. I wish I could answer all of them. I really do. But yeah, I love doing this. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to everyone who gave a super chat tonight. I really appreciate you all. We got Mark, Cassidy, Q, APC Man, Bill Castle, Big Tank, Jordan, Vartan, Joshua, Amor, Green, Mangoes and Apples, Green again, and the Gaming Audio File. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support during this live stream. Again, if you're interested in supporting me, please consider giving this video a thumbs up. Please consider sharing it with a friend, and please consider downloading the Coverage Map application. We're really trying to make the best app, the best experience for you all to figure out what network has the best coverage and performance in your area so you can pick a plan that uses that network and saves you a whole lot of money. So that's going to be it for this live stream. Thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you next Monday. All right. Take care, everyone. Have an awesome week ahead, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.